Welcome back. All right, 11 game review tonight for all you fine people on the internet. A couple of late starts, so it's a late review. These things happen. We're going to start off talking about Florida and Boston. Bobrovsky versus Swayman in this one. Good Panthers forechecking to start. In fact, the Florida Panthers played really well through a lot of this game. They press at 2.5 minutes, and at 4:27 they open the scoring. It's a face-off win, and Kulikov buries one. Sam Bennett with the assist. It's 1-0 Florida. Panthers look for another. Shots at 3 apiece at 6 minutes. The Bruins press at 9 minutes. Greer then has a wraparound chance that's saved. The Panthers press with 7 minutes left. They build some momentum late. It's 1-0 Florida after 1. Second period. Shots are 2-1 for the Panthers at 3 minutes. We get a power play for Boston. Bobrovsky poke checks Pastrnak. That power play is killed off. 2 shots on net. Bruins press after it ends. They end up drawing another power play. So Florida kills that one off as well. More pressure by the Bruins after that one's done. The shots are 8-2 for Boston at 9.5 minutes. Lettieri then has a rush chance that's saved. The Bruins press with 9 minutes left. There's a power play for Florida. There's a post and out for Lundell. That power play's killed off. Panthers press with 3 minutes left. The Bruins press to close it out. It's still 1-0 Florida after 2. Third period, Zadorov has a one-timer that's saved. The teams trade rushes. We get a power play for Florida. Becomes a 5-on-3. You can't do that against Florida, so they score. Samoskevich scores from Seth Jones at 4:49. The Bruins kill off the 5-on-4, but, it's a 2-0 lead for Florida. They controlled a lot of the game. And then Boston draws a power play, and they score on it. Pastrnak roofs one at 8:56. Lindholm and Mittelstadt with the assists. Bruins go back to the power play. That one's killed off, but it had chances. You could feel some momentum going towards Boston. Bruins press with 8 minutes left, and at 13:51 on a turnover, Lowry buries one to tie it. He buries that one from the slot. Lettieri then has a rush chance to blocker to side, and at 16:43, Zacha goes 5-hole from the left circle to give the Bruins their first lead of the game at 3-2. Pastrnak and Zadorov with the assists. With 3:07 left, we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4, so the goalie pull happens then. Things get punchy behind the Boston net. The Panthers score after the whistle, so that goal doesn't count. And then with about 3 seconds left, Bennett kind of throws down with Zadorov. Zadorov kind of beats him up. And then Bennett tries to exact some measure of revenge while the linesmen are holding him back. Either way, it's a fighty finish, which doesn't surprise anybody, and Boston wins this one 3-2. They go to 30-28-8 with the win. With the loss, Florida 40-22-3. Maybe not having any pressure is good for Boston. Your 3 stars are Pastrnak, Zacha, and Bennett. Shots on net, 11-6 Florida in the first, 7-6 Boston in the second. Both teams had 11 shots in the third. Final shots 28-24 for Florida. Power plays, Florida 1 for 3, Boston 1 for 4. The hits, 40-35 Florida. Bobrovsky saves 21 out of 24. Swayman had a good night, 26 saves on 28 shots. All right, next up, Columbus and New Jersey. So it's Merzlikins versus Markstrom in this one. Early press by the Devils. Mercer can't bury one in close. Shots are 2-1 New Jersey at 4 minutes. Meyer has a wristers kicked aside. We get a power play for the Devils, and they score on it. Heischer tips one in close. Bratt and Luke Hughes with the assists at 6:37. Columbus presses. They draw a power play. It's killed off. Not a shot on net. And then at 10:49 on a rush out of the box, Cotter goes 5-hole to make it 2-0 for New Jersey. Devils press for another. Shots are 9-5 for New Jersey with 6.5 minutes left. And at 18:49 on a rush, Bratt buries one in close. Cody Glass with the assist. It's 3-0 New Jersey after the first. Second period, early jump for the Devils. However, at 3:29, Olivier tips in a net feed. Matejchuk and Kent Johnson with the assist. Columbus looks for another. Shots are 3 apiece at 6 minutes, and at 7:16 on a net drive, Marchenko goes backhand to make it a 3-2 game. Fantilli and Werenski with the assists. Kent Johnson to Olivier. There's a near miss there. The Devils press with 9 minutes left. We get a power play for Columbus. That lasts a minute and 2 seconds and becomes 58 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off there. Shots are 12-8 Devils with 5 minutes left, and at 16:49, Meyer goes posting in on a rush to restore the 2-goal lead. Nason and Dumoulin with the assists. I do believe that's Dumoulin's first assist as a Devil. Columbus presses to close it out, but it's 4-2 New Jersey after 2. Third period, 26 seconds in during an early press. Luke Hughes wires one. Glass and Bratt with the assists, so that makes it 5-2. Shots are 3-2 Devils at 3.5 minutes. Columbus presses at 4.5 minutes. We get a power play for Columbus. That's killed off. And then at 10:29, Olivier with a backhand in close. Makes the game a little closer. Jenner with the assist there. Makes it 5-3. We get a power play for the Devils. That's killed off. Then there's a crossbar for Jenner. With 3:03 left, the Devils get a power play. That's killed off. But now you only have a minute left, and you're 2 goals behind if you're Columbus. Fantilli has a net drive chance that's held, and then the Devils finish the game on a power play. New Jersey wins this one 5-3. They go to 35, 25, and 6. They needed this. If Columbus had won in regulation tonight, they would have been 2 points back. With this win, now New Jersey 6 points ahead of Columbus, who are now 31, 25, and 8. 3 stars are Bratt, Hughes, and Meyer. Shots on net, 11-6 New Jersey in the first, 11-8 New Jersey in the second. Both teams had 6 shots in the third. Final shots 28-20 for New Jersey. Power plays, Columbus 0 for 3, New Jersey 1 for 5. The hits 27-16 for Columbus. Merzlikins 23 saves on 28 shots. Markstrom 17 saves on 20 shots. All right, Ottawa and Philadelphia, Forsberg versus Fedotov. And at 24 seconds on their first shot, it's not really fair. It's a cross-ice pass and buried. Tkachuk from Giroux and Stützle. So that early, Ottawa's put Philadelphia on their back foot. Sens then get a power play. That's killed off. No shots on net. The shots are only 1 apiece, 4.5 minutes in. Tippett has a net feed that gets picked off. We get a power play for Philadelphia. That's killed off. Things get pushed in a hold by Forsberg. Amadio then has a net feed that's blocked. Shots are 4 apiece with 6.5 minutes left. Batherson has a tip shot that's saved. The Flyers press with 1.5 minutes left. Then the Senators get some pressure in the final minute. It's 1-0 Ottawa after 1. Second period, Sens press at 1.5 minutes. Forster's denied. Forsberg holds. Shots are 2 apiece at 3 minutes. And at 3:05, Drysdale buries a backhand to tie the game at 1. Konechny and Lexell with the assists. However, Ottawa answers almost right away. At 4:14, it's Clevin putting one past the screen from the point. Perron and Batherson with the assists. Ottawa has their lead back at 2-1. That being said, at 8:45, Abels buries a net feed in close to tie the game again. York and Peltier with the assists. Flyers, they press. They draw a power play. That was killed off. And then Ottawa gets a turn on the power play. That's killed off as well. And I think that ends the special teams for the night. At 15:01, Amadio goes 5-hole on a rush to restore the lead for Ottawa at 3-2. Gaudette and Sanderson with the assists. The Sens press with 3.5 minutes left, and they're up 3-2 after 2. Third period, Sens press are kept to the outside. 3.5 minutes in, the only shot on net is for Philadelphia. Forster has a rush that's defended. The Flyers press at 5 minutes. Shots are 4-0 for Philadelphia at 9 minutes. And then at 10:59, Ottawa gets their first shot. It's on a turnover, and Dylan Cousins buries it to make it a 4-2 lead. Sens look for another. The Flyers press with 6.5 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 3.5 minutes left. There's an empty net miss by Pinto, but then he hits the empty net on his next attempt at 19:25. Amadio and Sanderson with the assists. Final score in this one, 5-2 for Ottawa. They go to 34, 25, and 5 with the win. With the loss, Philadelphia 27, 31, and 8. Your 3 stars are Tkachuk, Drysdale, and Cousins. Shots on net, 6-5 Ottawa in the first, 16-11 Ottawa in the second, 6-2 Philadelphia in the third. So both shots Ottawa gets go in the net. The final shots, 24-22 Ottawa. Both teams go 0 for 2 on the power play. The hits, 29-24 for the Senators. Forsberg saves 20 out of 22. Fedotov, 19 saves on 23 shots. All right, next up, Vegas and Pittsburgh. So it's Samsonov versus Jarry in this one. Lone shot on net was for Vegas 3.5 minutes in, so kind of a quiet start. Vegas presses at 4 minutes. We get a power play for the Penguins. That's killed off. Pittsburgh presses at 7.5 minutes. Crosby can't bury one in close. Puck's cleared out. Smith has a 3-on-2 chance. That's saved. Shots are 6-5 Vegas with 6 minutes left. The Penguins press with 5 minutes left. Hurdle has a 2-on-1 chance. That's saved. And then we get a power play for Pittsburgh, and they score in it. It is Crosby burying one from the doorstep. Raquel and Hayes with the assists at 17:48. It's a 1-0 lead for Pittsburgh. Vegas presses to respond. Dorofiev's denied in the final 30 seconds, but it stays 1-0 Pittsburgh after 1. Second period, early Penguins power play. That's killed off. Bemstrom has a rush chance that's held. And then at 3:02, Crosby gets his second goal of the game. He gets that from Raquel. He just walks in and buries it. You can't let him have that amount of time. So it's 2-0 Pittsburgh. The shots are 4-3 Vegas at 6.5 minutes. Fans call one. The referee does not. We get a power play for Vegas, and they score on it. It's a 91-mile-per-hour shot that goes 5-hole. Dorofeev with the goal from Hanifin and Eichel at 14:29. Tightening up the game a little bit. It's now 2-1 for Pittsburgh. Crosby has the net feed. That's held. The teams trade last-minute turnovers. It stays 2-1 Pittsburgh after 2. Third period, early Penguins power play. That's killed off. So for the second and third period both, they got early power plays in that first minute. Lone shot on nets, Pittsburgh's 4 minutes in. Pearson fires one wide on a net drive. Vegas presses at 5.5 minutes. The shots are 5-2 for Vegas at 7 minutes. Stone can't bury one in close. Crosby to Rust, near miss there. Jari's the reason this is staying 2-1. Jari's not one of the 3 stars. If somebody can explain to me why not, I'd love to know, because he should have been the first star of this game. So Eichel has a shot that's blocked during the 6-on-5. Then with 20.2 seconds left, Vegas calls a timeout. And at 19:53, they tie it. Noah Hanifin with a one-timer pass to Screen, Stone and Dorofeev with the assists. It's going to overtime. In the overtime, the Penguins controlled early, and Pittsburgh never gave up the puck. Carlson wires one from the right circle. Malkin and Letang with the assists at 49 seconds. Pittsburgh wins 3-2 in overtime over Vegas. They go to 26-31-10 with the win. With the overtime loss, Vegas 38-19-7. They're now 5 points ahead of the Oilers. Your 3 stars are Carlson, Crosby, and Hanifin. Shots on net, 9-4 Vegas in the first, 9-8 Vegas in the second, 19-4 Vegas in the third, and then Pittsburgh just needed 1 shot in the overtime. All done. Final shots, 37-17 for Vegas. Power plays, Vegas scored on the only one they had. Pittsburgh went 1 for 4. The hits, 16-10 Pittsburgh. Samsonov saved 14 out of 17. Jari saved 35 out of 37. And he's not a star. What's up with that? That's just crazy. All right, last game on this board is Tampa Bay and Carolina. This was a fun one. These teams don't like each other very much. Vasilevsky versus Kochetkov. And initially, the ESPN feed I had was in Spanish. So I was like, I can handle the Espanol. I haven't listened to Spanish in a while, but I can figure this out. Might be kind of fun to hear hockey terms in Spanish. They got to the English feed before the puck dropped, so what's the point? Why? I should just stop this whole video. Anyways, Kucherov has an early chance as hell. I was actually looking forward to watching it in Spanish. I thought that'd be a kick. Anyways, Bolts draw a power play, and Carolina scores on it. It is Jarvis on a rush just before the power play came to an end. Aho with the assist at 4:29. So a shorthanded goal makes it 1-0 for Carolina, and they do finish the kill, of course. Shots are 2 apiece at 6 minutes. There's a near miss for a point as Tampa gets some pressure. We get Martinook fires one high from the slot. We then get a power play for Carolina. That's killed off. Gord's denied on a rush out of the box after that's done. The shots are 7 apiece with 6.5 minutes left. And it's 1-0 Carolina after 1. Second period. Early press by Tampa. Jarvis is denied in close. Puck's cleared out. Shots are 3-2 for Carolina at 4.5 minutes. Tampa Bay gets some pressure 6.5 minutes in. We get a power play for the Canes. That leads to a shorthanded rush by Hagel. That's saved by Kochetkov, who had himself a good night. And then after that, Walker's denied as that power play comes to an end. Teams trade turnovers. Jarvis is denied on a fast break. Stahl's then robbed on a 3-on-1 rush, as there's just a lot of rushes. And then, of course, they score on the next one. Martinook goes backhand. Just too many rush chances allowed by Tampa Bay at this point. And at 12:58, it becomes 2-0 for Carolina. Canes look for another. There's a press by Carolina with 4.5 minutes left, and they would score again. Roslovic at 19:15 gets his 20th of the season. The assist to Hall and Chatfield. So 3-0 Carolina after 2. Third period, Blake has a rush chance that's held. The Bolts didn't have any shots 4 minutes in, but they get one at 4:38 that goes into the net. Gonsalves wires one pass to Screen to get Tampa Bay on the board. Hagel and Radish with the assists. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Gonsalves, I think, has a little bit of offensive upside. That being said, Carolina would answer. It's a face-off win, and Sean Walker scores. Stahl with the assist at 6:26 makes the score 4-1. Shots are 6-4 Carolina at 8.5 minutes. Paul has a tip shot that's held. We get a power play for Carolina. That becomes a 5-on-3. Tampa Bay kills that off. We get a delay game call. That gives the Canes a power play. That's killed off as well. Tampa wasn't very happy with the amount of power plays that Carolina got because they didn't get nearly as many. The final score in this one, 4-1 Carolina. They go to 39-22-4. They keep pace with New Jersey, and by which I mean staying ahead of them. Tampa Bay, 37-23-4 with the loss. This is a tough one tonight. They had a chance to get 2 points closer to Florida. 3 stars are Walker, Roslovic, and Kochetkov. Shots on net, 10-8 Tampa in the first, 15-6 Carolina in the second. Both teams had 8 shots in the third. Final shots, 31-24 Carolina. Tampa Bay had 1 power play. They did not score on it. Carolina was 0 for 5. The hits, 25-16 Tampa. Vasilevsky, 27 saves on 31 shots. Kochetkov, 23 saves on 24 shots. Time for board number 2. All right, Colorado and Minnesota. So you'll notice there's only 3 games. 3 games on each of the next 2 boards. So Blackwood versus Gustafson in this one. Early jump for Colorado. Chisholm fires one wide as the Wild press. Drouin has a chance that's caught and held. Back-to-back icings by the Minnesota Wild. Shots are 3-1 for the Avs at 6 minutes. They had time. They had pressure. They could not get those pucks to go in. The Avs press at 6.5 minutes. There's a near miss for Drouin. Then there's a near miss for Drury as the Avs have the Wild pinned down. Goudreau then has a net feed this block. The Wild press with 7.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Minnesota. That's killed off. 1 shot on net. The Avs press with 3.5 minutes left. There's no score after the first. Second period, there's an early press by Colorado. Manson has a shot that's blocked. A delay game call gives the Avs a power play. That's killed off. 6 minutes in, the shots are 4-0 for Colorado. Avs press, the Wild block the net. There's a crossbar for Brock Nelson. The Wild press at 9.5 minutes. And at 11:01, after a turnover by the Avs, Zuccarello roofs one from the inner slot. Rossi and Boldy with the assists. It's 1-0 Minnesota. Colton with a near miss then from a sharp angle. Shots are 9-7 for Colorado with 4 minutes left. With 3:14 left, the Avs get a power play. That's killed off, and then Colorado presses in the final minute. However, it's 1-0 Minnesota. Third period. Boldy has a net feed that's picked off. The Avs press at 2.5 minutes. Wild gets some pressure at 4 minutes. Good forechecking by the Avs at this point. Shots are 3-2 in favor of Colorado. 6 minutes in. Middleton has a screenshot that saved the Avs press at 9 minutes. Coyle's denied on a face-off win for Colorado. Boldy can't bury one in close as the Wild gets some pressure. The teams trade turnovers, and then at 14:18, Kiviranta ties the game, tipping in a point shot. Gerard and Malinsky with the assists, so that ties the game at 1. The Wild press with 4.5 minutes left. Faber has a wraparound near miss there, and we go to overtime. In the overtime, the Wild control early, and they just kind of ragged the puck. They didn't really go to the net very much at all. Then they win another face-off. The Avs take it over. There's a near miss for Zuccarello. Boldy has a shot that's held. We're going to the shootout. In the shootout, Boldy gets the winner as 2 Minnesota players score. And so it's a 2-1 shootout victory for Minnesota. The chess magnet's on the board. Minnesota goes to 37-24-4 with the win. With the shootout loss, Colorado 39-24-3. So Minnesota gets 1 point closer. They really needed to win this in regulation, though. 3 stars are Gustafson, Zuccarello, and Middleton. Shots on net, 6-5, and that's the Jake Middleton of Minnesota, not Keaton Middleton, who I don't think played tonight for Colorado, but I'm just covering my bases. Shots on net, 6-5 Minnesota in the first, 13-8 Colorado in the second, 8 apiece in the third, 2-1 Colorado in the overtime. Final shots, 28-23 in favor of the Avalanche. Power plays, Colorado 0-2, Minnesota 0-1. The hits, 16-11 Minnesota. Blackwood saves 22 out of 23. Gustafson, 27 saves on 28 shots. Pretty good goaltending matchup in that one. All right. The Rangers and the Jets. So it's Shesterkin versus Hellebuck. Perfetti has a tip shot that's held. There's a post for Soucy as the Rangers press. Shots are 2-1 Jets at 3 minutes. Jets press at 4 minutes. And at 5:18, Mesnikov opens the scoring for Winnipeg. It's a cross-crease pass and buried. Perfetti and Ehlers with the assists. 1-0 Winnipeg. Jets press at 7.5 minutes. The shots are 6-3 in favor of Winnipeg at 9 minutes. We then get a power play for New York, and they score in it. Zibanejad from JT Miller and Panarin at 11 minutes, so it's a 1-1 tie. Rangers press with 6 minutes left. With 3:53 left, the Jets get a power play. That's killed off. 1 shot on net. Jets press in the final minute. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period. Teams trade turnovers. Things get pushed in a hole by Hellebuck. We get a power play for the Jets. That leads to a shorthanded rush by Trocheck. He misses wide there. And then Velarde doesn't miss. At 5:06, he buries one in close on that same power play. Perfetti and Connor with the assists. So Perfetti with a couple of helpers tonight. And it's 2-1 for Winnipeg. Nemesnikov has a fast break chance that's held. The shots are 3-2 for the Rangers at 6 minutes. We get a power play for New York. That's killed off. The Jets then go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. Pressed by Winnipeg with 6.5 minutes left. The teams trade rushes. Rangers press with 3 minutes left. With 1:43 left, there's another Jets power play. And that rolls till the end of the second period. Now, I also want to point this out. There was an interview in between the second and third period with Sam Rosen. He was interviewed by the TSN crew for Winnipeg. If you have a chance to see that online, it's worth watching. Sam Rosen's final year, and it's been really nice to see. And I don't know if you're a Rangers fan, if you know this, but every single broadcast I've watched has talked about it. Both American, Canadian, no matter where they're playing, the broadcasts have shown Sam Rosen and talked about what a great job he's done. He's a legend in the sport. So third period, after finishing the power play, there is an early jump for the Jets after the Rangers finish that kill. Shots are 2-1 for the Jets at 3 minutes. The Jets score. Was it goalie interference? Yep, no goal. We get a power play for the Rangers. There's a shorthanded rush by Scheifele. That one's killed off. Shots are 4-3 for the Rangers at 9.5 minutes. The teams trade turnovers. Rangers press with 5.5 minutes left. And it was some bend, don't break defense by the Winnipeg Jets. And they end up holding on, winning this one 2-1. So the chess magnet's on the board for this one too. Jets go to 45-17-4 with the win. The Rangers 31-28-6. This one hurts. They had a team jump past them. Well, I mean, there's a team with a game in hand right here that's got the same amount of points. So you can see the Rangers lost some ground tonight, and they missed out on an opportunity to get closer to Columbus. Your 3 stars, Perfetti, Nemesnikov, and Keandre Miller. Shots on net, 11-9 Winnipeg in the first, 8-6 Rangers in the second, 7-5 Winnipeg in the third. Final shots 24-22 for the Jets. Power plays, the Rangers 1 for 3, Winnipeg 1 for 4. The hits 29-24 in favor of the Rangers. Shesterkin 22 saves on 24 shots. Hellebuck 21 saves on 22 shots. All right, next up, Montreal and Vancouver. It is, of course, the game where you think you were in Montreal if you listen. Montembeault versus Lankin, an early press by the Habs, and they score. Suzuki from Caulfield and Slavkovsky at 106. Lekarmaki almost answers for Vancouver. Near miss for him. Hedel has a wraparound chance that's held. The shots are 3-2 for Montreal, 4 minutes in. Dvorak with a near miss on a net drive. The Canucks press are kept to the outside. And then on a turnover rush, Slavkovsky scores unassisted at 8:34 to make it 2-0 for Montreal. The Habs press at the half. The Canucks get some pressure with 5 minutes left. Evans is then denied on a net drive. It's 2-0 Montreal after the first. Second period, Heineman's denied and close. The Canucks press at 2.5 minutes. Shots are 2-1 Vancouver, 3 minutes in. We get a power play for Montreal. It doesn't go the full 2 minutes. It becomes 32 seconds of 4-on-4. Besser has a tip shot that's held. Everything gets killed off there. And then at 8:58 on a cross-ice pass, Caulfield gets one to make it 3-0. Suzuki and Slavkovsky with the assists. So that line is just deadly tonight. 3 goals. They combine on all of them. The Canucks then press with 9.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Vancouver. And all I wrote here is, it's awful. Power play didn't get set up. Good penalty kill by Montreal, but that power play for Vancouver was brutal. I think they had a chance very, very late in it, but it was kind of tough to watch. Things get pushy on a hold by Montembeault. Joshua has a net drive chance this block. The Canucks press with 5.5 minutes left. Shots are 11-5 Canucks with 5 minutes left. The Habs press with 3.5 minutes left. Gallagher has a chance that's held. We get some pushing there because it's Brendan Gallagher, so he's kind of a disturber. So anyways, it's 3-0 Montreal after 2. Third period, Struble has a net feed that's picked off. The Canucks score. The Habs call a timeout to decide whether or not they're going to challenge it. They do not. So it's Hronek from Marcus Pettersson at 4:05. So M. Pettersson on the board. And it is a 3-1 score. Habs press at 6.5 minutes. Caulfield fires one wide from the slot. The Habs press at 9 minutes. Shots are 6-2 for Montreal at 9.5 minutes. We then get a power play for the Canucks. And at 11:08, Elias Pettersson scores. He gets the power play marker from Hronek and Garland. Just a nice wrister past a screen from the point. He's getting his shot back. He's getting his confidence back. That makes it 3-2. Habs press with 3.5 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 1 minute and 50 seconds left. And at 19:44, Matheson hits the empty net. Montreal gets the win, 4-2 in Vancouver. They go to 31-27-6. As I previously mentioned, they have the same amount of points as the Rangers and 1 game in hand on the Rangers. And they're very close to the Columbus Blue Jackets as well. Vancouver 29-24-11 with the loss. I don't see this team making the playoffs. I know they're really close, but I don't. 3 stars, Slavkovsky, Hronek, and Suzuki. Shots on net, 11-7 Vancouver in the first, 12-9 Vancouver in the second, 11-8 Montreal in the third. Final shots, 31-27 Vancouver. Power plays, Montreal 0 for 1, Vancouver 1 for 3. The hits, 31-23 Montreal. Montembeault saves 29 out of 31. Lankinen saves 23 out of 26. Time for board number 3. All right, Washington and Anaheim, a game that shows why I was glad I switched over to the new goal magnets tonight. I've had these goal magnets ready to go for about a year. Yeah, about a year. Anyways, Thompson versus Dostal. Hey, it takes me a little while to make changes. So at 2:07, the Caps open the scoring. Strome buries a backhand and close. Wilson and Ovechkin with the assists. The Caps press for another. Shots are 5-1 Washington at 3.5 minutes. But at 4:51, Trouba buries his own rebound and close for his first as a Duck. Terry and Vetrano with the assists. And then at 5:20, Hellison with a one-timer pass to screen makes it 2-1 Anaheim. Zegras and Carlson with the assists. Ducks press at 8 minutes. Dubois then fires one wide on a rush. Things get pushed in a hole by Dostal. And at 18:14, after a face-off win, Protas roofs one. Ovechkin and Dubois with the assists. It is a 2-2 tie. Caps press for the lead, but with 30 seconds left, the Ducks go to the power play. So it's 2-2 after the first. To start the second period, the Caps finish the kill. There's a press by Washington at 2 minutes. Lundestrom has a net drive chance that's saved. Shots are 5-2 for the Capitals at 4 minutes. And at 5:19, Dubois tips one in close to give the Caps their second lead of the game at 3-2. Roy and Chychrun with the assists. Caps press at 6.5 minutes. There's a near miss for Ovechkin there. The teams trade rushes. We get a power play for Washington. That's killed off. Killorn then has a rush chance. That's held. Duhaime then has a chance that's held as the Capitals get some pressure. Shots are 11-4 Capitals with 4.5 minutes left. Strome's denied and close. Puck's cleared out with 53.3 seconds left. The Ducks get a power play. So it's 3-2 in favor of the Caps after 2 periods of play. And to start the third, the Capitals finish the kill. There's a press by Washington after they finish killing it off, but the shots are 5-1 for the Ducks at 4 minutes. And at 4:26, Mintyukov fires one pass to screen. That ties the game at 3. It does not stay tied for long. At 4:57, Protas off of a good forecheck by the Caps. Dubois and McMichael with the assists. But the Capitals, their defense tonight. Anyways, it becomes a 4-4 tie. Vetrano ties it from Strome and Mintyukov at 6:18. This game was bonkers. Shots are 10-6 for the Ducks at the half. The Caps press with 8.5 minutes left. And at 13:23, Nick Dowd buries a rebound to give the Caps the lead back. Wilson and Duhaime with the assists. Then at 18:24, on a fast break, Beauvillier scores. Duhaime and Sandin with the assists. So now you got to pull the goalie. You're down by 2. And at 19:43, Ovechkin could have had it, but he doesn't. He makes sure Protas gets the goal for the hat trick. Ovechkin and Carlson with the assists. Washington wins 7-4, so the 80s Magnets on the board. This is the game that had all the goals tonight. Really, everything else was relatively low scoring, comparatively speaking. The Caps go to 43-14-8 with the win. The Ducks 28-29-7 with the loss. Your 3 stars are Protas, Hellison, and Dubois. Shots on net, 19-8 Washington in the first, 11-7 Washington in the second, 14-13 Anaheim in the third. Final shots 43-29 for the Capitals. Power plays, Washington 0 for 1, Anaheim 0 for 2. Yeah, all these are 5-on-5. The hits 22-9 in favor of Anaheim. Thompson saves 25 out of 29, and Dostal saves 36 out of 42. So, rough night for Dostal. But, I mean, goaltenders have been lit up by the Capitals most of this season anyways. All right, the Islanders and the LA Kings up next. And I have a feeling that there might be some discussion from Islander fans about this game. So it's Sorokin versus Kemper. The only shot on net was LA's 3.5 minutes in. We get a power play for the Islanders. Horvat fires one high, and then there's a shorthanded rush by the Kings. Power play's killed off. The Islanders press after. Duclair's denied on a net drive. The fans call one. The referee does not. And then shortly thereafter, the Kings do get a power play. That's killed off. Shots are 9-5 for the Kings with 6.5 minutes left. Fogle has a net drive chance that's saved. And then at 15:33, during a delayed penalty, it was a long delayed penalty too, Gavrikov with a one-timer, Kopitar and Spence with the assists. It's 1-0 for the Kings. Kings press with 2.5 minutes left, and they're up 1-0 after 1. Second period, early press by LA. Kempe has a slot shot that's saved. Cizikas has a fast break chance that's denied. Engvall's also denied in alone. McLean then has a rush chance that's saved. And all I kept thinking was, aren't the Kings good defensively? Why are there so many odd man rushes for the Islanders in the second period? The shots are 5 apiece at 8 minutes, and then at 8:37, it's another rush. This one goes in the net. It's Lee from Pajot and Pelech. So way too many rush chances for the Islanders. It's a 1-1 tie. However, at 9:14 on a turnover, Dano scores to make it 2-1. Moore and Fogle with the assists, so 2-1 lead for the LA Kings. Turcotte then has a wraparound that's held as the Kings are looking for another. We get a power play for the Islanders. The Islanders score. Goalie interference. The challenge says, yep, no goal. The Kings then finish the kill. The Islanders go back to the power play, and the Kings score on it. Byfield wires one on a rush at 14 minutes. Kings then finish the kill. So with 2:11 left, the Islanders get a power play. The Islanders score on it. So it's goalie interference challenge again. Yep, No goal. To which Patrick Waugh was told by the referee, hey, it's Toronto's call, it's not my call. The Kings then kill off another one. So that's 2 power play goals for the Islanders. They get wiped off the board, and instead of it being tied at 3, it's a 3-1 lead for the Kings after 2. Third period early, Islanders power play because that's the natural state of this game. That's killed off because that's also the natural state of this game. Shots are 3-0 Islanders at 3 minutes. Pelech then breaks up a 2-on-1. 7 minutes in, the Kings didn't have a shot on net. It was a very quiet third period up to that point for the Kings. Islanders press at 9 minutes. We get another Islanders power play because that's how it goes. Then we get a minute and 2 seconds of 5-on-3 on a delay game call. I think there were 3 delay game calls against the Kings tonight. What's up with that? Anyway, did the glass get dropped 3 feet? So things get pushy and punchy on a hold by Kemper, and the Kings kill it off. I got the feeling the Islanders are getting more and more frustrated. The goalie pull happens with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left, and then with 2:33 left, the Islanders get a power play. So you pull the goalie to make it 6-on-4, and Doughty hits the empty net. A shorthanded goal at 18:43. The Kings win this one 4-1. They go to 34-20-9 with the win. The Islanders 29-28-7. They miss out on an opportunity to make up some ground on teams ahead of them again. Your 3 stars are Gavrikov, Kemper, and Danault. Shots on net, 15-6 LA in the first, 17-9 the Islanders in the second, 11-8 Islanders in the third. Final shots, 34-32 for the Islanders. Power plays, the Islanders were 0 for 8, and the Kings had 1. And they didn't score. The funny thing is people are going to say, oh, the refs were trying to give it to the Islanders. But I always think it's weird how the power plays are almost always really close to even. Because, I mean, anyways, whole other discussion. The hits, 25-19 for the Islanders. Sorokin saves 28 out of 31. Darcy Kemper had a very good night. Saved 33 out of 34. Most of those probably power play shots. All right, next up. The last game of the night, Nashville and San Jose. So if you've stuck around to this point, kudos. So Saros versus Georgiev. And I'm also going to say, too, I had a nice interview with Brody Brazil today. That was kind of fun. So, we'll do that again. Probably once the season's done, that kind of thing. Maybe during the playoffs. Maybe a playoff preview kind of thing. So shots are 2-0 for the Sharks at 4 minutes. There's a shoulder save on Mohamedulin, as the Sharks had a really good start in this. Svechkov then has a rush chance that's held. Eklund to Wenberg. There's a near miss there. Englund then has a fight with Gaudreau. Pressed by Nashville at 9 minutes. The shots are 3-2 for the Sharks at the half. Power play for Nashville. That's killed off. Evangelista has a wrister that's held. There's a press by Nashville with 3.5 minutes left with 1:48 left. Sharks go to the power play. That runs to the end of the period. It's scoreless after 1. To start the second, of course, the Preds finish the kill. Sharks press at 2.5 minutes. The shots are 6-4 San Jose at 6.5 minutes. We then get a power play for Nashville, and they score on it. Forsberg roofs one short side. Svechkov and Blankenberg with the assists at 8 minutes and 11 seconds. It's a 1-0 lead for Nashville. We get a power play for the Sharks. Toffoli's robbed on a net drive. That power play is killed off. And then the Preds go back to the power play, and they score on it. Stamkos wires one glove side. Shea with the assist at 15-17. It's 2-0 Nashville. Preds go back to the power play. That one's killed off, but it's 2-0 Nashville after 2. Third period, early press by Nashville. The teams trade rushes, and then at 3:42, Giles gets his first National Hockey League goal. The assist to Gaudreau and Grundstrom. And then at 3:56, Graf ties the game. He wires one from the slot. Will Smith with the assist. All of a sudden, with 2 goals in 14 seconds, San Jose's tied the game. But Nashville would answer at 6:32. Kiefer Bellows with his first of the season and his first as a Pred. Forsberg with the assist, so 3-2, and an unlikely goal scorer there. Post for Toffoli from the doorstep. Shots are 6-3 for the Sharks at 9.5 minutes. Celebrini fires one high from the slot. Pressed by Nashville with 4.5 minutes left. Forsberg's denied on a breakaway late in the third. Goalie pull happens with 2.5 minutes left with 1:35 left. Nashville goes to the power play, so San Jose pulled the goaltender to make it 5-on-5. They're not able to tie it. Your final score 3-2 for Nashville. They go to 25-32-7 with the win. With the loss, San Jose 17-40-9. Your 3 stars, Forsberg, Saros, and Grundstrom. Shots on net, 7-5 Nashville in the first, 13-8 San Jose in the second, 8-4 San Jose in the third. They did outshoot Nashville 26-19. Power plays, Nashville 2 for 5, San Jose 0 for 2. The hits 22-15 Nashville. Saros saves 24-26, and Georgiev 16 saves on 19 shots. So there you go. You're all caught up on tonight's action. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again soon.